And with that, and me being stupidly late, oh so stupidly late, we are back for another attempt at some good old fun. Let me interact with that, close that. Boy. ADHD and being an adult did not mix very well today, but that's okay. That's fine. We'll make things work regardless. Okay. Indicate it must be read as old man creative. Like, you have to. You absolutely have to. Like, it's become a cultural phenomenon. If you don't read it as such, it is potentially illegal. You know, I don't make the rules. I just try to follow them. Also, apologies. I have to close my program really quick because my silly butt didn't run it as administrator, and if it doesn't run it as administrator, then it doesn't work correctly, and then you guys can't see me do all my cool facial expressions. There we go, I'm back. And now I can change my expressions. There, we're good. Alright, the game plan initially was to hit this up with a little bit of just chatting beforehand. Give people a chance to come on in. I am going to go ahead and do that. Not gay enough, needs the admin gay. Now we're good. It's like, just chatting! But given that it's already super later than I expected it to be, that could also just be me needing to hurry up and start the game itself. I don't plan to stop at least, you know, at minimum until like 11. It's about 9:30 my time right now, so I should absolutely be good to go. I don't know how late everyone else wants to stay up, but hey, that's the fun of it. I hope you guys liked that recorded narration. That is one of the shorts that I played. I had this idea. I don't remember whose video I watched. No, it was a tweet. It was a tweet of someone saying, VTubers, please stop just doing clips. Do something else. Do something more interesting. And it inspired me to do, like, well, one cool way that I might be able to advertise these streams is if I just take, you know, a couple minutes to write up and record a little, last time on the Tides of Change, and throw that in there. I'm off work tomorrow. You're stuck with me. The alternative is Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm not going anywhere. Alright, well, I am better than Mass Effect Andromeda. I really hope somebody gets that reference. It's God. I don't know whether to call that a deep cut or just I'm too nerdy for my own good. You have to dig for that bar. You really do. I mean, like, you know, one great example from the jump. When I scuff and glitch, it's a feature. That just comes with being a VTuber. Unfortunately, I work tomorrow. No worries. I'm not gonna hold anyone's standard of, like, staying up stupid late. I don't blame anyone who has to bounce early and relax. This is also, in all honesty, I'm doing this for fun, for my enjoyment, to test things out. I'm slightly challenging the world by saying this to prove me wrong, but I'm also, like, making a verbal, like, message of, I don't expect these streams to do very, very well. We're doing a whole other thing on the side, to, like, really garner people's interest, and even that might not pan out, but, like, it's fun. Side note, something fun to talk about. I'm gonna switch to just chatting very briefly because we essentially are doing that now. But a couple of buddies and myself. This is the second time I've been watching it, but I watched the latest episode of the Digital Circus, and then a handful of us got into a voice call and started talking about it, and we started talking about how Zubal's, out of context, it just sounded like I said fucking gibberish. Zubal's reaction to, like, having to be told that they have to kind of give up on their dreams and their passions to, like, be content with, like, what life they have. I suffer fuck attached. I hate when I do that. And it really resonated with me. Like, if these streams don't go anywhere, that's fine. It's letting me do practice and letting me up on a little stage to do something kind of neat that I will probably be able to carry forward into my regular tabletop sessions. I even had a really fun conversation with some people on the Cypher Discord that, like, really opened my brain to making encounters way more engaging down the road. So, like, one of the things we're going to do today is very much that. Our requisite hour of bullshitting before session starts, as it should be. Like, this is the real tabletop experience. Jabbering about, talking and chilling, having a good time, and then we start playing tabletop games. It's so much worse coming off of the OG trilogy. Oh my god, dude, don't even get me started. I'm not a big sci-fi guy, but I fuck with Mass Effect on a spiritual level. Granted, I was also a massive BioWare shill for years, so it, like, as much as I can't go back and play Mass Effect 1. Like, it's aged too poorly for me, but I love Mass Effect 2. I've watched playthroughs of Mass Effect 1 so that I can, like, have some semblance of what's going on. Mass Effect is one of those few sci-fi things where I'm like, nah, that's my shit. So Andromeda being just the most disappointing thing is... Unrelated, I'm in call with Luna watching her play Vintage Story, watching this stream, and playing The Last Spell. Ladies and gentlemen, ADHD. And it is beyond fucking valid. Bree, do me a favor, and, I should start referring to you as Starburst instead of Bree. Starburst, bully the hell out of me to double check with my other tabletop group and, like, double check that, like, they were okay the last time I asked someone was gonna come to the table, and then they just didn't. I doubt it's going to change, but to make sure that I do not overstep, I want to make sure that I ask them one more time before we get started. I'll shake you. Do it. Like, it's just like... Just... Just give me brain damage. We're vibrating about these characters again? Good. They were absolute chaos grip. I love that I completely forgot that one of them was also a dragon, but I just remember them being a furry chaos gremlin, so I'm like... I want to say they were a goblin, and then I was immediately wrong. 1 through 3 had some of the best characters in gaming. The writing slapped hard. I just did a full trilogy run, and it was awesome. Absolutely. If you're able to get through the original Mass Effect and then, like, continue on with the sequels, it's so good. And you know what? It actually kind of makes me a little angry, because you cannot say the same thing about Dragon Age. I do not think the original Dragon Age gameplay has aged all that well, but I still feel like the original Dragon Age has some of the best characters and the best writing, and nothing has gotten close. Dragon Age 2 is a massive disappointment. Inquisition is better, but I hate the gameplay even more. I think the gameplay is a massive step back. And then I didn't even bother with the newer one. It was so gutted and muted, and it's just a bad game. Eat refuse and perish, Basil's icon. Yeah, basically. I actually didn't mind 1 coming back. It's got issues, sure, but it's passable enough on lower difficulties. That's fair. And, like, you don't really play Mass Effect for its gameplay. You play it more for the story. The gameplay is just, like, a functioning vehicle to get you where you need to go. So that's completely valid. Alright, let me go ahead and take a swig of water. As you should. I'm here for emotional damage and to bang cute aliens. As you should. Alright, so. Last time, as the last time video said, our intrepid adventurers, Wander, Jesse, Rat, and Sari went out to try and do the Forsworn's challenge to defeat the undead dragon. Unfortunately, they were very unsuccessful. They did their best, but failed. The dragon almost completely took them out, and it was a bad time. Bad time for all. To the point where, they had to resort to using a specific item that was made for... Oh, it's not wanting to change to tabletop. I needed to do that, please. There we go, there we go. The offering that they were going to give to the god of the oceans kind of got foobarred pretty heavily, and it is preventing the group from actually being able to stop, or rather start a ritual that would bring the god's wrath to a bit of a simmer in comparison to its massive wrath going on. With that, even though they were very undesigned, it was a little undesirable to work with the Forsworn, as the Forsworn are clearly hiding something of an undead nature within themselves that Rat was able to pinpoint. But even then, the main group here does not also want to share too much of their personal structure and direction. And so, what has changed at this point is that the tides have changed, and they need to work with the Forsworn. They're not strong enough to take on the undead dragon, and they have no way to leave the island until they actively are able to, like, do the ritual and cause the fog and the undead to be put to rest. Until they are, everyone is stuck here. So, the first question I want to ask as they limp their way back along with Nor, the character who started off being a little bit questionable, but being a fair and righteous woman and someone who does not want to see any more people die, especially by her fault. She went to help the team, and she got very messed up. So the first question I want to ask for the group, and I think it's a very likely, are they going to apologize and throw themselves at the Forsworn? Like, ask them for help now? And that's a 48 with a very likely and a chaos factor of 6, meaning that it is a yes. They are absolutely going to throw themselves at the Forsworn. Out of the 4 of them, I feel like Wander and Jesse would be the 2 that would take the lead on this, and Sari and Rat would follow suit. And I say that because Jesse is already a pretty honorable and focused individual when it comes to social situations. Wander, even more so. He's not a massively book-smart kind of person, but he's emotionally intelligent, and he recognizes that he thought far too highly of himself, and almost got himself and his allies killed. So he not only is wanting to get their forgiveness, I think Wander's... I'm going to roll for that. I think Wander's going to be the first one to suggest that the Forsworn train them. He's going to request for himself, and we'll see where that goes. I think it's likely that he'll ask this. And yes, a 74, which would normally be much closer to a no, but because of the likely odds and the chaos factor, we do get a yes out of this. So Wander is going to approach Sister Malagros, and he is going to try to persuade her to let him be trained. That is going to be, for this situation, I'm going to call it a level 6. Given her level, which I don't want to reveal just yet, and given the situation, she's going to be a little nicer to him, but he still has to try. He's going to use 2 levels of effort, lowering this down to a level 4, and he's trained in persuasion. So, oh, also, story point for everyone who doesn't already have a story point. I have to follow my own rules for this. And that's actually pretty much everybody, because unlike my actual table games, I don't fuck up nearly as often. Alright. Persuasion roll is go. Oh, he just makes it. Wander will step up to Malagros and will unsheath his blades, laying them down, in front of him. You know, I don't think he unsheathes his blades. I think he takes them off, scabbard and all, lays them down in front of him, and very much does the head bow, like, throws himself at her feet, saying nothing except, please, we weren't strong enough, and we can't go back just letting the town get ruined. You've been here the longest, you know how to deal with these things, and clearly you're stronger than us. We want to help. We've come too far to let nothing be of... We've just come too far to let this go to waste. Heard the squeak on that roll. Also, heads up, ads are going to start in 2 minutes. I will take the brief break. I need to start making these ad breaks maybe a little bit longer, but then the longer I let the breaks be spaced out, then the longer the ads are. So I have to do the 5-minute thing so it's less annoying. But that's okay. So when ads trigger, I will go on a swift break, drink some water. Everybody can get up and go pee. That way everybody's had, we've had a good opening, good time to, like, check in with each other and can continue the story. But Malagros is going to agree at this time. She is going to tell them... She's actually going to ask the rest of the group if they also want to be trained. I don't think the rest of the group is inherently going to say no. I do think they're going to be questioning what they can be trained on. Sister Malagros is going to openly tell them that she and Kaya will focus on Wander's training both for tactics and for battle. Ursula can prioritize anyone who wants to focus on magics, as well as the use of different kind of traps and overall necromancy. So I think it's going to be Rat and our girl, sorry. I don't think Zoe is going to want to train anyone. She's kind of a bitch. So Leona instead will offer to train both Nor and Jesse. And I think the direction that she's going to take is... Leona is not like an upfront fighter. She's much more of a tricksy fighter. So I think she's going to actively show them how to use dexterity and tricks over just brute strength, because that's clearly where their specialties lie. And Zoe is... Honestly, I think Zoe's gonna hop around and be like the target dummy for all of these people. I'm gonna roll to see if this is actually a thing that Zoe wants to do. Yep, 50-50 shot, and we got an absolute 50. Zoe... Zoe... I'm just imagining, actually, that Zoe is kind of like a crazy person, where, like, her heart is in the right place, but, like, she's got mass, like, Napoleon syndrome, so it's always just like, oh, you think you're tough? Oh, you think you're badass? Yeah? You want to prove it? Bring it on! And that's going to be the ad break, so I'm going to go ahead and get that started. Alright, looks like ads are over. Double check that the Foundry preview is going to load appropriately. It might not. Nope, there it goes. It's back. So, with that, let's go ahead and have everybody... We'll have Sari and we'll have them kind of be in their own pairs. As I was saying before the ad break, I think it makes a lot of sense. Oh, excuse me. Here, also let me do this so that things fit a little bit better. I think it makes perfect sense that Zoe... Well, also, I just realized that's a little high up. Oh my god, Basil, stop fucking being a perfectionist about everything. It's running the fucking mid. Yeah, let's do this. Kind of like the title being up here. That way, Foundry has an easier time fitting. There we go. Okay, that... I swear I'll stop hyperfixating on things being in the right place. I'm gonna have these guys be the main one because Rat and Sari are grouped up, Jesse's on her own, and Wander's on her own. On his own. Misgender my own favorite character. Alright, so we're gonna go Wander, Sari, and Jesse. Alright, as we start up, Wander is going to be first. I imagine that Malagros and Kaya recognize that Wander is exceedingly strong and pretty damn durable, but he focuses way too much on his physicality, too much on his speed. You can't exactly, like, train him to be smarter, right? But, you could... Let me lower the music down just a tad, so it's not... Okay, there we go. Let me know if the music needs to come up a little bit, or go down a little bit. I saw it was, like, a little bit low, and I don't know if that was good. But yeah, Wander is very good. He needs to, like, lean into his strengths, but he has to think more tactically rather than just charging in. And for instance, this is going to be taught because he's going to have to figure out a way to deal with Zoe and Kaya at the same time. Zoe is the only one that is actively attacking him. Kaya is actively defending against him. So every time he tries to fight back against one, he's really fighting against the other. So... Now, I'm going to roll to see what he would do in this. We're rolling action combat. Fight oppose. Alright, makes perfect sense. He's going to initially try to start out being the big dog on campus, and he's going to struggle with that. So it's going to be a level 8, so a 24 on a 20, to try to break through Kaya's defenses, but he's going to go for it. He's going to use 2 levels of effort, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4. And here goes the long sword. 14, but it will miss, and then he'll follow up with his short sword, which will be a 17, which will hit and deal extra damage. Extra damage that doesn't work because Kaya's got 3 armor. So imagine this dual swordsman rushing towards Zoe as Zoe is, like, raising up their spear. And once again, I'll give you guys an idea of what these guys look like really quick. So this is Kaya. And then this is Zoe. Zoe's got, like, that axe-spear combo going on, so it's absolutely using their short stature and their, like, availability of range to really make Wander struggle. Whereas, Actually, I gotta roll for this. Is Kaya... That is a halberd? I couldn't think of the word. I couldn't think of what a halberd was for a brief moment. Is Kaya just bouncing Wander's abilities off her, like, abs? Yeah, no, she is. In a way that Wander cannot explain. It's not even that he is hitting armor. He is literally, his swords are bouncing off of her abs, which then leads Zoe to go and try and attack him, meaning he has to block or dodge. He is going to choose to block. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to suck because he has to get an 18. Nope, that is absolutely not going to happen. He will take... Because they are training, he's only going to take 1 moderate wound instead of 1 major wound. However, he is going to be wounded of his pride because he realizes that they are holding back and he is still struggling. We cut then over to Ursula, who's trying to help both of the magic casters gain a better appreciation and a better ability of their magic. Sari is already pretty versatile with her magics. It's more so the idea that she has to be able to think more outside of the box last second. Whether it's hedge magic or one of her prepared spells. Right now, she's only got improved escape. Actually, hold on. Right now, she's only got enhanced reflexes and enhanced strength. That's not great. Wow, Baz. 1d4 belt to the ass. Ow. Listen, y'all know me. I'm not that bright. I've never claimed to be that bright. I'm the most beautiful, dimmest bulb in the world. Can I? Oh, yeah, cool. That doesn't have any effect on that. That works. I want to look something up. Because the problem with Sari's choice of prepared spells right now is that they're not entirely like they're useful for non-combat situations, but she really shouldn't be trying to rely on others to solve her problems. And if she's not going to be doing a lot of physicality, she should really be focusing more on trying to help her allies. So, we're going to take a peruse through the Cypher tables. Page 281. Comprehension might be good. Contingent activator. What's contingent activator? Hello. What could this be? Gonna have you guys peruse this with me, although I do need to make it much smaller, clearly. You create a remote link with a manifest cipher you are touching and specify a condition that will activate the linked cipher. For example, if you create a contingent link with a healing cipher, you could specify that it activates if you take a major wound, or if you are knocked unconscious. That actually really fits the kind of magical BS that she would need to invest in. That is unironically kind of fantastic. Setting up for the long haul is a really, really good idea, actually, for her. From there, let's look at what else she might want to invest in. Depth scanner, device scanner, disguise module, eagle's eye. Endure climate's not a bad one. Fear's not a bad one. Obstacle bomb, range extender, remote viewer, retaliation, sound dampener, speeding bullet, telepathy, tracer, virtual shield, weapon augmentation. Here we go. That's a classic. Honestly, if you're a spellcaster and you're not augmenting your allies' weapons, what are you even doing with your life? Weapon augmentation is such a damn good ability in this game. But while she does know of those abilities, she does have to prepare them, and I still want to make her struggle to go for it. So, I'm tired. No, I must stay awake. I must stay awake for my little project. So I'm going to say that she is going to... Does she not have... No, she has to have something, right? 1 second. She picked edge, effort. That's what it is. Okay. She is going to go ahead and try to crash course this. And I'm going to say... Let's see how much it takes for her to get through. I'm going to make this a level 6 task for her naturally, because she's actually pretty good at this stuff. She's already got magic lore, so... Alright, 15. She is going to lose 6 points of intellect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then Rat... Rat's biggest problem during the dragon fight was that of trying too hard to heal and not trying hard enough to deal damage. You know, which does make sense. Oh, so you know what? I'm gonna slightly change this. I think it's actually gonna be Rat and Wander trying to fight these two. Because Wander's going in too fully cocked, and Rat's not going in enough, even though they are a medic. They are clearly someone that has the ability to do more capabilities with battle. So it's a 2v2 on that end. Oh, that's really good, actually. I like that. So, Rat, I think you're going to just attempt to try to swing without really, like, thinking about what you're doing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so close. And now you're gonna try to block. 1, 2, 3, 4. And suffers the same fate. Oh, actually, hold on. You have armor. Yeah, so this actually, you actually would manage to pull that off. It would only take a minor wound instead. So, to add some flavor and to add some like real like narration to this, Wander and Rat start by fighting Kaya and Zoa while Malagros watches, instructing them on how their behavior should be. Wander, simply upon request, rushes Kaya and Zoe, just doing what he normally does, and he gets an absolute ass-slapping for his troubles. Rushing forward, trying to swing his blade without really thinking about what he's doing, and getting retaliation. Rat tries to do the same, knowing that he needs to try and do more damage, or try to be more on the front lines with Wander, but he suffers a similar situation. However, Rat clearly doesn't get hit as hard, and that is because he is armored up. I want to see if Wander recognizes that. Does he have perception? No, he doesn't, so I'll say it's a 50-50 for this first round. Okay, but he does! Wander does notice that Rat is more of a tank. My next question for Wander, though. Does this bother him? The idea that he'd have to let Rat take hits just to, like, tactically take the advantage? To my surprise, no! Wander sees this. You know what I think it is? I think as this is going on, Wander sees Rat and has been kind of this whole time, up until this point, even before the first session last week, Wander's been treating Rat like a child, which is very easy to do because Rat talk like this and very small sounding and very nervous all time. So Wander doesn't like actively think about Rat as like an ally or an equal in battle. Seeing the way Rat carries himself and seeing the way that he himself is kind of struggling, I think Wander super realizes his mistake at this point. I think he fully recognizes he is not as he's very glass cannon-y. He can dodge attacks. He can do good. And he can even shrug off damage. He's been doing it his whole life. But there's just this moment where he's thinking, alright, if we're gonna take care of this on our own, we're gonna have to work together on this one. And I'm gonna have to start letting Rat pull his own weight. Rat, on the other hand, is just like, hitting don't work! He needs a little bit of direction from Wander, which is where Wander will probably step in next. Sari, on the other hand, is absolutely getting frustrated. I'm curious why she might be getting frustrated. Is it because she's being forced to use magic? It's less of a, oh, I want to cast this spell, and it's more of a, I have to cast this spell. No, that's not the reason. Okay, let's look at another table then. Let's say... Here we go. Motivations table. Object and fear. Oh! She's afraid of certain magic. That's an interesting twist. You're inspiring me to glare longingly at my tabletop books, given my Mass Effect lean GM emulator with Traveler sounds so good right now. Oh, dude. I'm telling you. And again, I'm running this as a GM and, like, simulating the players, which, like, fits me so well. Trying to run this stuff, simulate the GM has not worked for me in the past. It doesn't click with my brain. I'm just too locked into, like, making a story and, like, leading it. But then rolling how the players react, now that throws in the bit of spice that I am like, oh, I can live with that lack of control. So Sari's afraid of the spell she's casting. It's an object fear. Okay. Does she have a weakness? Like, it is something that she is just actively bad at. Is she very accident-prone to enchanting objects versus people? I think this is likely. No, that is not the case. Okay. If it's not that, then what could it be? Let's roll some traits and flaws. Lacking resistance. Lacking resistance. This almost makes it seem like, instead of a phobia, maybe it's an ego thing. That, like, she was specifically trained in, like, she can enchant objects. She just kind of sees it a little bit beneath her. Not in, like, a stuck-up way of, like, thinking the magic is bad, but, like, she focused and trained on this one aspect, enhancing individuals. Simply enhancing the tools doesn't engage her as much. Like, having magic that actively acts in the moment versus setting up something long-term. I think that's very likely that is the case. And we got a yes. Sari's weakness is that she is focused too much on instant gratification of magic. She makes her move and wants something to happen immediately. And while that kind of magic can be good, I think Ursula is going to kind of talk her down a little bit and say, before, you were not able to assist your allies in that combat scenario. The magic you chose wasn't poorly chosen, just not thought out for the day. If you're exploring, if you're trying to travel across the land or track something down, Those spells you crafted, those are useful. But when you're trying to go to a specific goal and you know what's becoming available, and then at times when it's not predicted, you should plan a little more ahead. Is Sari gonna slightly retaliate against that idea? No, she's not. She takes that in, and she sort of starts to compartmentalize this. And I think she's even gonna ask, what about the things that you can't always prepare for? And Ursula's gonna smile at her and say, that's just it. You can't plan for everything. But if you can choose the options that give you the most versatility, the best chance of dealing with a bad situation, that's really all you can do. Just think before you cast. And I think Sari is going to take that into massive consideration. Leona, on the other hand, as we cut over to Jesse and Nora's turn, I think that it's a situation of them needing to... You know what? I'm actually going to roll on the table for this. I've got a couple of... I couldn't land down specifically what I wanted Jesse to learn, because there's a lot of options. So instead, I'm going to roll on motivations and see where Jesse lies in, like, this moment. What does she want to improve on? Jealousy and legal. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So I know Jesse's backstory, and I'm not going to reveal too much about it yet. But this tells me that her head is just not in the game. I'm going to ask the dice, is Jessie so focused on her own personal aspects that she's not seeing the greater whole of what's in front of her? I think it's very likely. Exceptional, yes. That is the struggle. Jessie is focusing way too much on her own personal struggles, her own past, the accident at the circus. She's not in the moment. How's Leona gonna get across to her for that? I'm thinking, let's go with an adventure table here. Adventure tone, fearful, and adversity. Okay. I think Leona's going to notice that Jessie is super unfocused in what's in front of her. She's clearly bothered by something, right? Oh, also, I have to move some tokens because you guys can't see them because of the chat. Oopsie. So if that's the case, I'm gonna say Leona. Oh, you know what? A better follow-up question. Is Nor facing the same issues? Yes, she is. Okay, so both women are stuck on their pasts. I think Leona's just going to kind of psychoanalyze them. I think she's going to set up the situation where Jessie and Nor need to try to kind of jump her and catch her by surprise. Unlike with Rat and Wander, it's more of a point system. It's like, all you have to do is get this flower out of my hand. It's just like a little daisy. And, you know, I'm going to roll for this. I think, is Leona going to make this a competition between them? Exceptional, yes! She absolutely is! Okay, so you watch as Leona puts the flower in her hand and simply says, "No weapons, just my armor for, protection's sake. And whoever can get the flower from me, I will tell you of a secret artifact that would be able to give you all the strength you need to fight the dragon again on far greater terms. But I'm only going to give it... No. Backtracking. I've got it. She puts the flower forward, and she's going to read them. Do you have deception? You do. Jesse's going to try to deceive Leona. Spend 2 levels of effort. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll be damned! 19! Okay! Jesse's able to kind of trick Leona. I think Leona is focusing more on Nor then. Not really being able to get a read on Jesse. Leona's more like, hey, Jesse, would you mind helping me with something? While the others are training, I don't really have much that I can give you, unless you want to come to me specifically about something. I'm not gonna roll for this. I don't think we've already established that Jesse's not mentally here, so she's not going to be like, oh yeah, Leona, teach me shit. But Nor, Leona's gonna lean over and tell Jesse, we're pretty positive that Nor is someone we can get to join our ranks, join a part of the Forsworn. But to do that, I need to make sure that her mind is focused, that it's in the right place. You wouldn't mind helping me with that, right? If you do, I'm willing to empower that artifact that we gave Nor and you earlier, make it a little bit more powerful. Of course, Jesse's going to respond saying, it's a little bit underhanded, but I'm willing to work with you on this, especially if it's going to help Nor, and, well, I can tell that she kind of needs something to focus on. She's been through a lot, as have all of us. With that, Nor's going to get positioned. I'm going to put my happy face on as soon as I can find it again. There it is! As Nor is going to try to steal the flower between Jesse and Leona. And I think very quickly on, Leona is absolutely taking advantage of the situation and just making it about them going back and forth as Leona watches. Let's have Jesse go ahead and go against level 4. And I'm going to have them roll a stealth task to see if they can keep that away from Nor. Ooh, that's a 2. I'm going to make that a story point. I'm going to try to re-roll that shit. 16! Much better. Nor will swing her blade and try to, like, get Jesse off balance. Jesse recognizes very easily that Nor's not going to try to hurt her, but it's just the danger and the instinct of dodging the sword as she swings, goes to grab, swings, goes to grab, and Jesse just keeps backtracking over and over. She looks over to Leona waiting to, like, toss the flower and, like, piggyback it. Leona just keeps, like, standing in place, being like, over here, I'm wide open! Is Jesse gonna recognize that this is something that Leona's doing on purpose to, like, fuck with her? I'm gonna let this be a 50-50. Nope, she does not recognize this. Jesse just thinks, Leona, what the fuck are you doing? Help me! With that, we're gonna cut back over to Wander and Rat, as they're going to try their little plan. As Wander is going to go, and I think he's going to try to psych out Kaya. Because, like, Kaya's massive. Like, she can easily get to him, right? So instead, he's going to rush towards her and use his ability Fleet of Foot. On this turn, you can move up to a short distance, or in this context, 50 feet, and as an extra action. On this turn, you can move up to a long distance as an extra action instead of a short distance. He is going to use he's going to absolutely use 1, 2, 3 effort to do that, as he sort of like starts running in circles around Kaya, like spinning faster and faster and faster until he slingshots himself over at Zoa. With that, he is going to try and attempt a proper strike. He can only hit her with the short sword, which is fine. He's going to go for that. He is going to use 1 level of effort to make this easier on himself. Yes. And then he's going to use 1 level of effort to increase the damage so he can make this happen. So I think he has to win on a 15. Oh, 18, baby! Let's go! Zoe does not see Wander coming with this strike as he just circles around Kaya, zipping past, going right to Zoe, as he manages, psychs her out with his long sword, only to lunge and strike with the short sword, managing to make his mark. Zoe then goes to retaliate, but Rat is going to take the blow, because there's a mechanic in Cypher that lets you do that. He is instead going to take both a major and... Oh, actually, I think... actually, I have to look at the rules really quick. 1 second. Block, dodge, armor and shields, other defenses, non-rest recovery, draw the attack, take the attack. If an NPC's attack would hit another character, the attack automatically succeeds against you and it inflicts an additional minor wound. Once you take an attack this way, you can't do so again until the start of your next turn. So this is going to make a moderate wound, and it's going to be a minor wound on top. As Rat will... Let me see here. There are many ways to multiple here. However, you can't use more than 1 of these at the same time. Save them. Is this considered an action? The attack automatically... Let me double check. Yeah, this would take an action, so Rat's not going to be able to do anything this turn. But Rat, with his armor and with his resistances, absolutely makes that opening, as Kaya now sees that Zoe is going to continue to get jumped in this way. With that, Kaya is going to try to stay around Zoe enough for this, giving them an opportunity. Also have to mark that damage, so it's going to be... That's 4 points, plus the effort he used, so 7 minus 4. Wander, on his next move, is going to actually use another of his abilities called Weapon Switch. As an extra action on your turn. Also, the reason I'm not making the rolls for this right now, something I'm going to do in the future so that combat can go a little bit faster and like moments of like action can happen faster, unless there is a absolute like reason to question what the players would do in their tactics. There's going to be an assumed approach for the characters. There is not going to be a, oh, does Wander do this? That slows things down too much in a, like, conflict situation. But if there's, like, a scenario where it makes no sense for Wander to do something, or, oh, wait, Wander isn't able to think about this, or rather, when the combat first starts, I will ask, what is Wander's game plan until something else changes? That way things go by a little bit faster. But in this training, Wander has a specific goal. Learn to use your fucking brain. With that, he's gonna use Weapon Switch. As an extra action on your turn, you change up which weapon you're holding in each hand. This might entail swapping your left and right weapons, sheathing them and drawing new ones, flipping and catching one or both of them, dropping one to switch to a two-handed grip, or something similar. This maneuver is so startling, unexpected, and impressive that your next attack is eased by 2 steps. Once you use this ability, you can't use it again until after your next recovery. Oh, I love this ability so much, and I'm about to show you all why I love it so. So I think Wander's going to do just that. He's going to charge, have his blades sort of like crisscrossed, and then he's going to drop the short sword, spin himself to sort of like hop over Kaya to slam down on Zoe. Now in this situation, there's a lot going on, so I'm going to make the difficulty start higher at 9. He's going to get 2 eases because of this ability, and he's going to use 2 effort to lower the difficulty down to a level 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's already trained in these kinds of attacks, so he's gonna bada bing. Oh, so close to a 19. He will use his story point to reroll. He's gotta get that 12, baby. No! Oh, we're challenging the scene. Okay, 1 second. Let's see what's gonna happen with the scene being challenged. Yeah, there are cool chat dingles that you guys can interact with as you watch. It's very fun. I'm very proud with how I've altered those slightly. So, in this scenario, I'm not going to make it... Actually, let me double check how I wrote this. Even after if things go, you invoke your right as co-GM to see if something very odd can happen as well. Dice will be rolled. So we're going to invoke to see if the scene changes first. We're going to see if something happens. Yeah, there are GM intrusions. You guys can invoke those, and then I'll roll on what the intrusion is. So we're checking the scene first. It is an interrupt scene. It is PC negative. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. We adjust, increase an activity, add an object. An ongoing activity increases in scope or intensity. A new object is added to the scene. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to count this as a GM intrusion. Because we are actively switching things up. So the difference between the GM intrusion, invoking the GM intrusion from you guys, and doing the scene adjustment, there's a chance nothing happens. You guys are kind of rolling the dice to see if something will happen. A straight GM intrusion will absolutely just be something new happens. There's no argument to be had. Also, you've got 30 of them. I ask you to use them wisely. But absolutely feel free to use them. They make the whole situation we got here very fun. Okay, so we're adding an object and we're increasing the current activity. So the training's going to get a little bit harder. What is the object that we're going to get? Let me open up some tables. Object meanings, here we go. Ready, expended. Ready and expended. Okay. That is telling me, and it's PC negative. I think Kaya and Zoe realizing that Wander and Rat are doing their best. I think they're gonna flex on them and do their best now. So Wander tries something very clever, swings down on Zoe, and it just doesn't connect. And in retaliation, Zoe and Kaya are both going to retaliate. Let me look at their abilities really quick. Okay. I'm gonna alter something on their character sheets a little bit, just because I need to shift that. Damn, okay, this is gonna hurt like a bitch, actually. This is actually gonna make things a little bit nervous to, like, see how they handle this. Before, let's make the thing happen first. Magical lore. No, it would make sense that that's gonna happen. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to go in and change that part, because that's a little too powerful. Especially given what it can do. So this is going to be a level 6... Ironically, this is going to be a level 6 might defense. Not a block, but a defense. He's going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 for 2 effort. And he's going to go for it. He's going to spend that story point he just got from the GM intrusion. He does not want to eat it. Oh, Jesus. Alright, I'm going to roll to see if Rat will give Wander his story point. He might not. He does. Okay. Ah, damn. We cannot roll very well today. Alright, alright. With that, you will watch as, in retaliation to Wander's trick, Zoe will put their hand up, and they are going to cast Lay on Harm. How many points are they going to put into this? Are they going to hold back? 50-50 shot? Oh, they are not. They are absolutely not. Wander is absolutely going to suffer 2 major wounds, as he was not prepared for this. That means Wander almost died. What? One more major wound and Wander would fucking die. I imagine at that point, Kaya grabs Zoe and, like, pulls her back, and Zoe is absolutely looking horrified at this point. That was not meant to happen. That was all instinct. For the briefest moment, Wander actually, like, ooh, you know what? Hold on, I'm gonna roll something. I think it's very likely. I'm not gonna say what I'm rolling for because it's something very GM focused and I don't want to spoil it. Oh, I got an exceptional yes. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Okay, fuck. Okay, chat, good news. I get to I have a justified reason to go into Wander's backstory a little bit. Bad news. It doesn't make Wander's family look very good. But, let's get into it. Get news, y'all get to roll a new character. Good news, everyone! My favorite little Blarbo is dead! They are grease on the wall! Now you get to make the new lead of this fucking cavalcade. Okay. Yeah, so Zoe did not mean to do that. That was, absolutely a reaction to some laden traumas Wander suffers that immensely. And I think there is no doubt about it anymore. The way that that magic was casted and the fact that Rat is really intelligent. Rat's going to try at the very least. He's going to use his magic lore. I'm going to make this level 6. He'll use 2 levels of effort. Oh no, fuck that. You were absolutely using your story point. You want to know what the fuck that was that just hurt your friend. What in the shit is this? What? Why can I not roll above a 10 tonight? Alright, sorry, are you going to offer your story point? No. Jesse, are you gonna offer your story point? Yes, okay. Which makes sense, because Jesse's player, I know that they would definitely want to know what the fuck that was about. Okay, it is not meant to be. I will say, it makes perfect sense for Rat to recognize that that was necromantic magic. That was absolutely dark necromantic magic, even though the way that it was casted was done so in a way that, like, a paladin would act. Like, it is lay on hands, but it didn't do lay on hands. With that, I think Malagros is immediately going to go over to try to heal up Wander. Is Rat going to get in the way? Because he might be on super defensive mode right now. Yeah, Rat's absolutely, I don't think Rat thinks this is training anymore. He might, like, think that, like, maybe it's slightly training, like, maybe this is like, oh, this is a test. But even so, Wander looks really fucking hurt. He is coughing up blood and ichor at this point. So he's absolutely standing in the way. Malagros is immediately going to put her hands up. No weapons on her. She's gonna say, Rat, I need to help him. If you want to help me as well, that's fine. You take the lead on healing him, but he needs help now. And he is going, I'm not even gonna make him roll. She's being very, very, upfront. And even though Rat is being defensive, he's gonna say, fine, you help, but Rat heal. As he is going to cast his healing hand, and that's gonna cost about 2 intellect for him, as that lowers down the wounds for Wander from 2 major to 3 moderate. My god, Wander, you get your ass kicked in this campaign. Wander, in every iteration I've had this character, has at least one session early on where he is absolutely getting mollywopped. So this is just becoming true to form in so many ways. With that, I think Zoe is gonna storm off out of a combination of embarrassment and out of just, like, getting her reaction to things. With that, I think Wander is absolutely going to slowly sit up, getting himself healed. And is gonna look to Sister Malagros and just say, listen, I know we were trying to make this a pretty intense training session, but that was... I don't really need to be humbled anymore. I already get that everyone around me can kill me at this point. And Malagros will tell him, no, I should have seen this before. I didn't even think anything of it. Are you feeling all right? Wander would nod. I need to ask you something rather personal. That name of yours, it has meaning, yes? Yeah, it's sort of a name of oath from my family. We're an adventuring guild. The Far-Flung, yes. I'm familiar, at least with their lore and their knowledge. So is Zoe. Alright, you trying to tell me that they've got some kind of weird beef with my family? Because, look, I'm already trying to look past the fact that you're somehow related to the undead while also trying to fight it. I'm really trying to be trustworthy here. Rat is just looking back and forth at all of them, like, being like, what? Rat no understand. Malagros will get straight to the point then. Your ancestor, the Wanderer, yes? They have a history with Zoe, specifically. It's not my story to tell, but for whatever reason, your progenitor, great ancestor, Wanderer would kind of give like a nod to both. They're the reason that Zoe joined our order. Some time ago, many years ago, the Wanderer attacked their encampment. Zoe understands the lore and the idea behind your ancestry. For all intents and purposes, we've never been able to find anything to the contrary that the Wanderer would attack anyone innocent. But that has only made it harder for her to come to terms with things. I'm going to see if Wander... You know what? I'm going to make Wander roll for it. I don't think this is going to... No, I'm actually not. Wander's not... Again, Wander is socially intelligent. He's going to catch on to this. When I came at her with that little trick, she reacted in kind. Malagros will nod. You've proven between both of you that you're more than capable of thinking outside the box and working together to give yourself a better situation. We'll continue the training later, possibly just with Kaya. Wander and Rat will not deny this, and Wander will absolutely be very focused on having a conversation with Zoe down the road. Does Wander feel guilty? I think it's unlikely he feels guilty. That might not be the right word. But we got a yes. Even with the unlikely, we got a yes. And I think the reason why is because I imagine, and I'll explain who the Wanderer is soon, but when his family has to take down criminals, and I don't just mean like people the state says are criminals, I mean traffickers, I mean murderers and tyrants. That is the kind of people that the Wanderers, the Far-Flung, deal with. This would not be the first, nor will it be the last time Wander has to deal with people who survive beyond their kin who are doing evil things. I absolutely believe this is the first time Wander's had to deal with it himself. With that, we will go ahead and get ready for the next ad break, as I think this is a very good dramatic place to stop for now. When we come back, we'll check on Sari and Jesse and see how their training goes. Thanks for catching that. Oh my god, I was about to say so many things and be super muted. Oh, I'm so glad you caught that. Anywho, so I very much believe at this point, Rat is going to have a lot of questions. Very much talking like, Friend Wander, why did Lady try to kill you? It sounds like your family did something to her? Such a bad stream, terrible streamer. I know. I'm just gonna go away forever now. I'm really glad Control Z works, because, like, for a brief second, I couldn't put the model back up. I know, she just looks so comfy.
She doing the doodle spoon.
The dogs just love whenever I'm yapping.
Yeah, they just like hearing your voice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go bed.
Have a good night, baby.
Good night.
Mwah.
Love you.
Love you too.
Have fun with your silly dice game.
Thank you. Oh, give me 1 second. Alright, we're back. You're bad and you should feel bad. Bad anyway, continue. I'm enjoying this journey. Good work. Oh, thank you. What's the over-under on Baz muting himself again and not catching it a second time? Ha! Fuck you! I got it this time. Good streamer. Yeah, so Wander will explain to Rat and to Malagros and Kaya, actually, because they're going to want to know a little bit of the details. So, the legend of my great ancestor, the Wanderer, it's a little flaky in some areas. We don't really know if they were a demon, a daemon, or a devil. Likely more in the demon category, given our understanding of the story that we've been told. The Wanderer was essentially attacked and almost killed on a regular basis when they were in the Hells. Born a demon, not turned into one from a mortal soul, at least not in the regular sense of it knowing who it was. Eventually it found its way into the Prime Realms, and from there it traveled, got to know people, got much stronger, until one day, saving a king and their family, as well as its kingdom from an oncoming attack of hordes, almost dying in the process. For their great deeds and sacrifice, a few other gods were watching and raised the demon into godhood, turning the Wanderer into at the very least, a demigod of travel, war, and protection. That god procreated with a couple of folks and found, frankly, just a power in having a community. So either children were born of the blood of the Wanderer, or they took oaths and became one with that bloodline themselves. One thing led to another, and here I am, taking up the same oath, taking up the same name, going around trying to kick people's shit in whose shit needs kicking. But that doesn't always make everything we do completely clearly correct. The Wanderer is a I don't know if it's fair to say they only see in black and white, but they have a temper, and when enough terrible deeds are being done in front of them, which they were a demon, they can't really have genuine evil be hidden from them. But when there's enough evil and enough chances to stop doing evil, well, either they send one of us, we feel compelled to go and adventure in a certain direction, or they give in to their old ways and just rampage through. So, your great, this goes on for a while. Great grandparent killed Zoe's parents? Yeah. But they were bad people. Doesn't mean that Zoe's okay with that, unfortunately. Well, I mean, it's justified, right? Even if my parents and my family, as much as I love them and as much as they treat good to me, if it's hard to stomach when you find out that they're monsters or something you didn't know they were. Even harder when you probably had to watch them die horribly. The Wanderer doesn't take prisoners, but they don't torture. They're like an animal when they get into those moods. Malagros will kind of look at Wander. All the same, it isn't fair that when asked to train you, that she acted the way that she did. It's a weakness of hers, and I would ask that you forgive her on my part. As Malagros will do a salute and bow. I think Wander is Wander's. I'm not gonna have to roll for this. Wander is definitely going to accept the apology. Even going as far to say, well, if there's any consolation, I don't think any apologies needed. We're training. I didn't die, and I am doing this to see what my limits are in a safer environment, so all's well that ends well. Is Wander gonna ask to talk to Zoe now? He is. But Malagros is going to say, I think it's Malagros. I need to start pronouncing that name. I could ruin your perception on some animals right now. No, yeah. I didn't. But you know what I mean when I say that. Malagros is going to Malagros. I think it's pronounced. I've been saying their name wrong for so long. I'm gonna have to watch the Pointy Hat video again. I like watching their videos anyway, so I'm just gonna have to watch it again to make sure I'm pronouncing that right. She is going to suggest that he talk to her later and be very careful to make his presence known as he approaches. Zoe is not so prideful as to not have a conversation, but I'm going to be honest with you, Wander. I don't believe Zoe has any ill will or any grudge against you, but if your goal is to get her to recover from this, which I'm going to roll to see if it is. I don't think it is. I think it's very unlikely. But nope. Proves me wrong. Wander actually somehow thinks, oh, well, if I just talk to her, it'll be fine. And Malagros is going to say, no. You need to understand. This is a demon of her own she has to fight, and she's not going to easily be swayed. while counting on fingers and toes, eventually having to use knuckles and joints. I'm messaging Miles that later because I feel like that's exactly what Rat would do. I would even go a step further to say that, like, Rat would, like, start, like, bending his arms and legs. 'Cause he's like a walking corpse, right? He would start bending his joints in ways that are not supposed to be done. Like, you're hearing cracking and the bending of ligaments in a way that it's like, stop! With that, I'm gonna add something to the threads. We've got a new adventure thing, and this is one for Wander specifically. I'm putting it as he wants to help Zoe accept Wander and the Wanderer for what they are. But in truth, this might actually just end up going in the direction of not so, excellent, absolutely. I don't think Wander is going to succeed in this mission, but he's going to try. He doesn't like his family name being associated with bad things. I think this is a flaw of Wander where it's not that he's egotistical, not intentionally. He's making this about himself when it needs to be about Zoe, and I think this is going to be a very good growing moment for Wander to where others' opinions of you should, or your family or ancestry, should only matter with your actions. If you're going to be judged on other aspects, but, like, there's no... You need to be able to, like, accept that, and you, with your actions, choose to prove that you can be more than what they think. But if that's not enough, then that's not enough. I think Wander's going to have to learn that the hard way. As we cut back over to Sorry, I'm going to once again try to make them roll against level 6. Using 2 effort. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're going to roll their magic lore to see if they're able to come up with some more options. And they're going to use their story point. Man, everybody's rolling terribly tonight. Ah, man, okay. Sorry, what is causing you this problem? Is it... Now I am starting to think what we suggested before, that this is more trauma-related, because Sorry has already mentioned to the group that she originally came from a magic school, and due to situations that had happened, she had to leave that school. Is this a subject she's always been bad at? Yes. Okay. Is this something that a teacher she didn't like got on her about? Yes. Was it most teachers or just the one? Was it most teachers? No. Okay, so it was just the one. It was the one that didn't like them. Oh, you know what I'm kind of getting? If anyone's watched My Hero... I mean... If anyone's watched My Hero Academia, that sounds like such a stupid thing to say. Like, obviously not everyone's watched it, but it's like, this is not an unpopular show. It's like, come on, Basil. I mean, if you've seen this indie production called My Hero Academia... Alright, in My Hero Academia, there is a character named Shota. And, I mean, I know about it, but I haven't watched it. Right, that's very valid, but, like, I don't know, I got a kick out of the way I said, if you haven't watched it, it's like, dude, this show is so old, what the fuck are you on about? But the character who has ice and fire powers, this is kind of giving me similar vibes where, Sari is choosing to not want to use these powers because... Yeah! Shoto! Yeah, there it is, there it is. She's refusing to want to use this aspect of magic because a teacher she didn't like really got on her ass about it. Now, here's my question. Is this one of the teachers that got her kicked out of the school? I want to say it's very likely because I want the drama. Exceptional! Yes. Okay. Does Sari start to break down from this? Yes, she does. Having to deal with the so, to give some context, a couple sessions ago, a couple of her former fellow students, specifically one who attacked her, I will say, got some kind of authority in their head to see if they could track her down, because technically Sari is wanted for on the run, because she assaulted the same guy that is now trying to track her down out of self-defense. So saying assaulted, like, it was self-defense, but it's a rich asshole, and it's his word against hers, and she was instructed by her good teacher, her favorite teacher, to just run. This is clearly showing that this is a deeper situation. This is a more severe plot thickening. Why? Maybe it's just ego, maybe it's just power tripping. I do not think it is some kind of like, she is the chosen one, we must steal her gills. I think this is just like, favorite teacher, favorite student, go against a student they don't like because they're power-hungry idiots. But for this part, I think it makes sense that, like, Sari has this sort of block where instant magic, like focused casting, doing the here and now and not trying to be paranoid and plan for every situation, it starts to bug her because now she's thinking of all the magic she could use and it's starting to make her spiral. And I think Ursula is just going to grab onto her and hug her. Is Sari going to take the hug back? Exceptional, yes. She is just bawling and crying into Ursula's shoulder. God damn. After a while, I think Sari is going to try to speak to Ursula about what's going on. Not like, even like directly just to Ursula, but herself. And the gist of it is just gonna be, I know I have to plan ahead, even just a little. But when I start to think about all of the magic I can cast, because I can, I'm a good mage. There's too many choices. I'm not gonna pick the right one. So if I just pick one and have someone else make the decision, if someone else jumps in, if someone else, anyone else, just, I don't have to do anything again. I'm the magic caster. I'm the back line. That's all I need to do. And I don't think Ursula's going to say anything. She's just going to keep her hands out for Sari to hold on to. And is Sari going to come to the conclusion herself? I'm going to go ahead and make her roll for it. I'm going to make this a level 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's got to work for this. I'm going to let her roll gather information because she's trying to compartmentalize everything that's happened to her and the reality of her situation. 13. Sari takes a breath, relaxes, Let me try just one more time. She spends her effort. Magic lore. That is just enough. It's shaky. You watch as her hands barely manage to form the magic needed to cast the spell, as the blade around Ursula's arm is enchanted with holy magics, then necrotic magics, then ice, fire, wind, swapping between each one just to see if Sari can do it. It's not intensely powerful, but it's enough. And then Sari casts it upon herself. She's scared, and she's shaking. She's gonna have to fight her own battles. She can't just weasel her way out of conflict by having someone else take the front line, even if it is their job. She has to get more active as well. If the fighters are gonna have to think harder about their strategy, she needs to be a little bit braver in doing what she can. She's smart enough. She knows how to cast her magic. And I think in that moment, Ursula is going to tell her the truth that we've all heard in several stories. Bravery is not a lack of fear. It's being able to face the fear knowing it's there. Knowing that you don't want to. But you're going to anyway. We might be paladins, and your friend figured out that we have some kind of connection to the undead. But we can still die. It can still be permanent. And if we die, a lot of other people die. A lot of innocent people die. But I let that fear fuel me to be brave. I don't let anyone but me decide that I'm too scared to act. And with that, I think Sari manages to get a hold of herself and push herself forward to keep trying. As we now cut over to Jesse and Noor, as Jesse has to continue to keep dodging Noor purely because they want that artifact. They want to make something happen. This is going to be gymnastics against level 4. Okay, and they do not have any story points. If Noor snatches the flower away, what abilities do you have? Oh, that's right. I made her a burglar. Yeah, she's gonna try to burgle. All right, she is gonna try to steal it out of her pocket. She doesn't have pickpocketing as a skill. So we're going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 levels of effort and going for a speed task. 14, absolutely. As Noor goes to, like, wave the flower in front of Leona, Jesse immediately snatches it out of her hand. Leona goes, sorry, I didn't see that, what? As Noor is getting very angry as they are continuing this bout back and forth. As this is going on, I think I'm gonna request for myself a scene adjustment. Nope, it's just gonna be an expected scene. As they're gonna keep this up, Noor will sometimes get the flower. Jesse will manage to get the flower back. Back and forth, back and forth. I'm gonna ask, does the flower start to crumble? Exceptional, yes. As they are fighting over the flower back and forth, eventually the flower just snaps, and there is no more flower to retrieve and do. And Leona will just look up at both of them with a very straight face. So now what? Neither of you won. So what happens next? And I'm gonna roll to see if Jessie breaks down. No, she doesn't. I'm gonna have her think about this though. The Abandoner? How am I the Abandoner? I have abandoned no one, thank you. Although I do need to message you and, I like that. That's a cute emote. I do need to message you and, Syria. Why could I not fucking remember their name? Because I know we couldn't play last weekend. I want to double check. I like that. Nice. Did I? Oh my god, wait. Did I get my weekends mixed up? No, I was correct. Yesterday was okay. Oh my god, Buns. I got so scared that I fucked up my weekends. I put the 19th. I don't know why I put the 19th. I meant to put the 29th. Oh my god, I scared the shit out of myself. My own typo fucked me over. Oh my god. Oh. Everyone give me a second. I almost had a fucking crash out. Oh, we only get to play so many times a month, and I thought I fucked up. Woo! Buns, thank you for showing up. We are getting through a couple more moments of the solo play. Compared to what we did before, Buns, instead of me trying to run without a GM, I'm a GM running without players. And the chat also has points they can spend to invoke things to happen in the story. So keep an eye out for that if you want to use any of your channel points. Yeah, it's a very different approach. It's working out very well. A lot of the characters have done stuff already that I'm very surprised about. Yeah, it's very cool. I'd love to I want to get more people involved in this. I want to get more friends and fellow VTubers to pitch characters that I can run the tabletop with. That way people don't have to... Yes, more! I want to get more people involved to where, they're pitching characters. They don't necessarily have to show up to the game, but, they give me a character, they give me what the character is most likely to do in most situations, and we slowly watch as the story unfolds as I run the story, but most of the time I'm rolling what the characters are doing. So, for instance, Jessie just got an aha moment, and I think she's figured out what Leona's game is here. She is trying to set them up in a situation of, hey, things outside of your control have happened and your chances are ruined. What do you do now? I'm gonna roll to see if... Imagine guest appearances. Oh, listen. I would love... They pick up one of your NPC characters. That would be actually kind of fun. Or not even that, having people come in and co-GMing with me. It's like, I think this should happen. Well, I think this would be interesting, and then we can roll to see whose choices happen. It'd be so much fun. I'd also have to be very careful with it, because one thing that I would want to do, to be careful compared to the last time we did this, and I made an absolute ass out of myself. I have developed my setting immensely more. I've gotten a lot better about just, like, having a standard of what my city and my setting is, and then being like, the thing that is happening now is smaller in context and is not the standard. So, like, oh, there's government corruption? Well, the government corruption is in this one moment. It does not go all the way up. I got really butthurt about that in previous storylines because I didn't have a backbone while also, like, having a mature way of being like, no, that story's too big. I want to focus more on smaller things. So that will not happen again. Instead, it would be, oh, this one sheriff is super corrupt, and he's really good at keeping his shit on lock so the higher-ups don't know. We have to take care of him. Because I think that's more fun rather than, like, mass government corruption. But I'm biased, and I worked hard on my shit. But I would absolutely love to have people chime in. I did not even think of that as an option. That would be really fucking cool to have people come in as like, I'm the temporary co-GM. Hi. And then you get to, like, watch as, like, the character you pitch does something you don't expect. I'm stealing that. Once again, stealing from a more successful VTuber. That's how I'm gonna make it in this world, y'all. Just watch me. It's such a cool idea, but, yeah, the funny thing is, there's so many aspects of, like, stories and games that I've, like, gotten really good at running now, that if I'm not, like, I'm gonna have to eventually just be like, hey, if you know me, I probably stole one of your ideas. Sorry, and also thank you. I'm self-aware enough to know that I didn't do all this on my own, but I'm too lazy to credit everyone. So everyone just take credit for whatever you want. Jesse is going to realize kind of what Leona is doing. She's trying to, like, see, like, what they're going to do now that the situation has faltered. Jessie, I think, is going to keep it together because she's already kind of living that. Yeah, the greatest compliment is see, not plagiarism. I want to go that far, but how's Nor going to handle this? I think it's unlikely she's going to be stable. I think she's... Oh, exceptional, yes! She also keeps this locked in. That's interesting. Also, random event time. Let's find out what happens. So, it's a random event. We know what's gonna happen to Nora and Jesse. Now I gotta find my random events table. Random element, encounter, location, objects. Let's just type random and see what I get. Cuts up. Random themes. Let's do random encounters. Positive, unexpected. Okay. Okay. There's a bot you can have chat roll dice with, too. Oh, could you? Oh, that would be a lot of fun, actually, if people would do that. So I was using my my side program for the GM emulator, but that would be really fun if you guys rolled the dice and then I opened the book. I might ask you how to set that up. That would be super fun. I need to look into that. That's a great idea. But for now, what we rolled was 55 and 86. Random element, which was positive and unexpected. Okay. What would the positive and unexpected thing be? Is the positive unexpected thing coming from Jesse? Yes. Jesse's got a moment of clarity to see what's happened. Nor's not over. You know what? I think Jesse's gonna try to get a read on Nor. $11. A reminder that I shake you about me and Luna joining a game. I appreciate you doing that before you peace out. I will... Actually, you and Luna joining a stream for this. God, that's such a great idea. To just have people guess GM. I need to reach out to people. That'd be so fun. Because I'm already, like, my hands free of what the players are doing. It's mostly just GM stuff. So Nor is handling it very well. Surprisingly well, even. I think Jesse is just going to openly ask... I know it's just a training exercise, but... we got really heated there for a second. We were really trying to keep that away from one another. You don't seem as, exhausted as I expected you to be. Yeah, well... just one avenue, right? Sure. The flower's what I wanted, because I wanted to trade it in for information, equipment, but it's one flower. There's always going to be another flower, and even if it takes a while to find it, to do it the hard way. I'm not going to say I'm not frustrated, but it's either have a cry about it and move forward, or just break down. Besides, I don't have to do it alone. And I think when Nor looks to Leona, there's clearly like an unspoken dialogue that has happened. And Jesse recognizes this, and this is the positive thing. Sari had to break down to recognize what she was doing wrong. Wander is still trying to figure out what he's doing wrong. Jesse just kind of has that moment. She's been traveling alone, dealing things alone. To the point where her head has just been in the clouds, focusing on, where do I go next? What do I do next? I need to, after I'm done here, what do I need to do? And I think, ironically, or not ironically, but like out of the group, Jesse's just the one person to kind of get it. That she doesn't have to rely on herself. She can use her skills and talents, but her allies are there. And she should start thinking of them like that. See you Wednesday, Devious. Thank you very much. I hope you had a good time seeing how this all works. With that, I think we'll cut over to Wander. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna test the scene really quick. We are gonna get an interrupt scene. It is move toward a thread. Thread, find a perfect fish. I forgot about that. Okay. Wander agrees in the end with what Malagros said. He's going to take rat fishing. they're gonna spend the rest of their evening trying to fish. I have to roll. Are there any fish they can possibly catch on the undead island? Oh my god, there are. Oh no. Oh, what could they possibly... Wait. The curse doesn't affect the sea life. It's just those that walk on the island. That's a discovery. Everyone's gonna get an experience point for that. Because they just stumbled onto something very, very important. Because, like, these guys fought an undead shark a couple sessions back. With this discovery that there are, like, animals and creatures and fish that you can, like, catch without, like, them turning into the undead, that's wild and very, very crazy. And it's something that's really worthwhile to hold on to. Okay, I didn't even plan for that. That's fun. As they're fishing, what does Rat want to bring up? You know what? Actually, I have a box for this. I have these really cool cards. I'm gonna pull one of these out and let's see what the conversation for these two goes into. Who would you like to see humiliated? Would you want to be responsible for the humiliation? I don't think Rat would ask this. It's a good card. But it's not something that Rat would ask. Let's try another. Could you ever see yourself as a parent? Ooh! No, that's very apt for what has been going on. Okay. Rat, while fishing with Wander, just kind of goes, Friend Wander, has this made you not want to continue, family? That's a bit of a loaded question there. Wasn't exactly too worried about trying to start a family anytime soon. I'm still kind of young, and you know, with the oath and everything, I'm not exactly in a rush to find someone or adopt anyone. Rat, think Wander would make very bad parents. I think Wander is gonna, like, absolutely agree with that. Yeah, my mom and dad didn't exactly plan for me, and they had to completely change their life around, and I'm not exactly in the position to do that, but plus side, I'm not expecting to get too loose with anyone, not planning on having any bastards. Pretty sure my mother would kill me, and she would. She knows 1,000 ways to kill a man with poisons. That's gonna be a thing. Why'd you bring it up? Well, with what happened with Zoe, Rat unsure what to think of family. Family's supposed to be together to make better. But Zoe family bad. Wander's family stopped that. But Wander is unsure, and Zoe is angry. What about your family? Rat family gone. Rat not have... He just stops there. I think he just ends with not have. And Wander, are you gonna catch on? I'm gonna make this a level 4 task for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're not very smart, so you're gonna use as much effort as you can. Oh. He is so fucking full of himself. Oh my god. Wander, wake the shit up. Okay, hold on, I have to ask. Is this Wander being done? Okay, is this Wander focusing too much on himself? Yes. Oh, god damn it, Wander. Is Wander gonna be a jerk about this? I think it's very unlikely, but I have that little bit of doubt. Fuck, he is. He's not gonna be, like, overly a jerk, but he is gonna sort of be like, well, with all due respect, Rat, you don't have a family, so you don't really need to be worrying about the difficulties of everyone else's, huh? Maybe worry about making your own, having your own kids, making your own life, and then you can start debating the quality of someone's bloodline. How is Rat gonna take that? Is Rat gonna take that more on the nose, like more literal? Yeah, he absolutely is. Oh, this poor baby. Rat is gonna take that advice and absolutely just go, okay, Rat, not think on until Rat have family. And Wander is absolutely going to, like, take that information and not really know what to do with it, because he was mostly just trying to, like, say that to get Rat to, like, stop prying at him. And it worked, but in a way where it's like, I'm gonna end up regretting this, ain't I, later? Oh, shit. The last things I want to do then, before we end this session, because I don't necessarily want these solo sessions to go on more than like 2.5 to an hour. They don't need to be playing that long. I'm gonna see if the rest of their training goes well. Obviously, Wander and Rat are going to keep trying to play around with their abilities and with their tactics, doing front lines, trading blows, and healing. Sari is going to continue to find different magics that he can use and swap out to enchant both herself and her allies, keep it as universal as possible. And I think what Jessie's going to do is she's actually going to observe what everyone is doing and start, like, making suggestions, trying to get a read on what everyone is doing, while also thinking, okay, well, if they can do this, then I can support them by doing this. Until eventually, all 4 characters are able to get another 2 experience points. But I'm gonna roll on a D10. On a D8. I want to see how many weeks they're at this for. Okay, they stay on the island for a month and a half. That's a pretty reasonable amount of time for them to get their shit together. They spend a month and a half training, learning, and joining up with the Forsworn as they try to get their bearings and a better understanding of their abilities. This causes Wander to get a couple more points in their speed and might, making themselves a little bit stronger physically. Rat will do the same. Sari will gain a new skill. No, a new ability, because she's been, like, practicing her magic so much. And Jessie, I think, will also get a new ability. Because she's trying to focus on, like, how best to serve her friends. How to, like, help them. Where Sari is learning that she needs more versatility in her support abilities to, like, work on both her and her allies, Jessie needs to rely more on her allies, since her talents are so well fit for her. And I think with that, they'll end up getting their character advancement. Which means they'll be ready for the next bit of their attack. Their plan to fight the undead dragon once more, and their plan to help the Forsworn with what's coming next. We started a bit later than usual, and it is rather late already. We're almost at the 2.5 mark, and ads are going to start soon. I think this is a good place to end this session. Gives me time to prep a little, gives me time to get the characters to level up, and to prepare the big climactic end to this arc of their journey, where they fully come together, not as just a band of people who got to know each other due to circumstance, but genuinely start to click. I think everyone who was here for the stream in the beginning, everyone who showed up to the stream in just a little bit, thank you guys for enjoying the story. I hope my ramblings, my dice rolls, and the expectations of what has happened has been entertaining. I hope you guys have enjoyed the conversations we've had over what could be coming next with some different ideas and some different plans. I definitely want to continue doing this just for my own fun. This is just a good time, and I think people having the ability to invoke random stuff is so entertaining. Let me go see if anybody else is streaming. Yeah, my buddy Teze is. What are you up to? Looks like how long will the Jones collab? They're just hanging out, doing their own thing. Yeah, let's go ahead and raid my buddy Tay. When you get there, let him know Basil sent you. And I should be streaming again this Thursday, going with the same table here, the same group. And after this arc is done, I might be introducing a new game, a new batch of characters, and even, as we suggested, thanks to Buns, a co-host. But we'll wait and see how that turns out. For now, please give Tay love and support. Let him go ahead and say hi. And then everyone have a good night. I will see you guys Thursday between 8:30 and 9, hopefully 8, because I was really slow tonight. But thank you again, and have a good night.
Yeah, it's yellow and blue. Hey! Thanks for the raid, Basil. Thank you. I will take your raid gladly. Welcome, everybody. I'm Zach. I stream once in a while. More than once in a while. If you like what you see? That follow button. I don't know where the follow button is, but... How was your stream? Did it go well? I did jump in, take a look. I like the new setup you have going so far. How'd the D&D go? It is D&D you're playing, right? I'm very glad that my bot works. You got the bot.